got some cool pogs. Alf pogs. Remember Alf? He's back in pod form.
Let's get that tape in there. Welcome back to Retro Pie. I'm your host, Maestro Drake. Look at this. Look at that old TV. That TV right there. So, we're not going to really focus on the entire episode. By the way, I got claimed for Garfield, but what are you going to do? I'm going to try my best here because we're just going to focus on the last minute. There's a clip over there on YouTube, but we'll add commentary to make it more transformative than before. And 1989. Now, I remember TV Guide, not this exact TV Guide. Remember when they were the size of Archie, like Reader's Digest. Are Reader's Digest even small sized anymore? You could put your hand over this TV Guide, right? But there was a TV Guide, like back in 1989, very similar to this 2002 model. Now they're just magazines. I don't even know what TV Guide is anymore. Do you? And so in the TV Guide, we find the description for Alf, season 4, the last episode of that season. It was in late spring, early summer of 89, and it would say the season-ending cliffhanger. Now, I was only 11 years old. I would interpret cliffhanger to mean, before Sly Stallone made it uncool. Cliffhanger being that it is going to keep us hanging for 3 months. Now, I never had year-round school. I would have school up until June, and then we would go back in September. Nowadays, it's August. I think kids would have late May, maybe very early June school, and now they go back in August. But I had the end of June and then all the way to September, maybe right after Labor Day. So we just, 3 months went back. They went by, and they were just quiet. They were just quiet. Nothing, just silence. Now, what we're looking at is the last moments. This was building up. Alf got a plaque, and he got these, kind of going away presents. And it just seemed like, okay, we're done with this, really. And we saw like Rhonda one time. Rhonda made an appearance. I think it was just the same Alf suit, right? It was Paul Fusco, and a little person wore the suit. So here we're supposed to get this nice ending, but it just wasn't meant to be, right? And we're all familiar with the cartoon. There was a Saturday morning cartoon that kind of showed the world of Melmac. No cats were eaten. It's a Saturday morning cartoon for kids, but we were kind of looking forward to this, happy ending. And that's not what we got. We didn't get anything like that. Oh, this is horrific. A lot of disappointed people at 11 years old, or 10. And you wouldn't see To Be Continued anymore. You would see just like the end credits. This was like, yeah. So this was sad. Nothing more to come out of this. This was like, why? And for nothing, I mean, everything just went dark. Somebody turned out the lights. Now, I looked a little bit of research. So Max Wright wasn't happy with the problem with Alf. I think is the problem I think a lot of people had with Jaleel White being Urkel, with John Amos, with Jimmy Walker, JJ, Dynamite. You had that central character, right? And even though this character is not human, it's a Muppet alien thing. It was like stealing the show, right? So it was no longer a family show, but it became a family and an alien the moment Alf comes onto the scene in the first episode, which I remember all those episodes, 4 years. They came up with a new intro already in like season 2 and shit, like the jazzy thing. Like I remember the one where Alf wished he was never born. Remember the Guardian Angel one? That one, and even the Gilligan's Island one. That was like a weird trip because Gilligan's Island was still like in reruns and stuff. Yeah, so there was just so many things, and so it was shocking. It was appalling. It was like, why couldn't they have brought it back? Now, Here you have Project Alf, but I don't care for it. I didn't think it was a great movie. It might have been a good Alf movie, but it was not the thing we were looking for. It was just like, here's this thing. It was like the Joker 2 of sequels. Remember that episode, The Love Boat, The Next Wave? That he was just a doll that the little girl imagined to be real. I suppose if we had just ended it with him getting picked up and going away, I mean, what was wrong with that? I mean, by the way, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft got picked up for season 2, so thank for that. So I guess the showrunner made the right decision to have a big cliffhanger at the end of the 8 episodes, which I gotta review Gundam tonight. Fuck. And Superman and Lois tomorrow. I'm real anxious for that. Not really. But anyway, so I think they put their foots in their mouths. Now, it's true that Alf had comic books and dolls and talking dolls and not Pez dispensers, like candy dispensers, right? He didn't have a video game, but he had a cartoon, and he had Alf Tales. He had all kinds of stuff. He had all kinds of things. I think there was an X-Men parody of Alf's. So Alf was everywhere. He was a thing. He was on Hollywood Squares. There was a Tonight Show episode. I never got to watch the Tonight Show because I was 10 years old. I had a curfew. I had 9 o'clock, 9:30 was my curfew at 10 years old. I remember seeing Ed McMahon really for the first time, and Alf being the guest host. I remember all this stuff. And so he was a trending thing. And then just like that, he was gone. He was just fucking gone. It was just such an insult. Like, it was the worst ending ever. So I mean, let's say we had the good ending, and then what would you do? Like, could have had Jim Henson, right? Jim Henson could have worked on the world of Alf, the world of Melmac, right? He could have had all these creative puppetry ideas, just all kinds of weird shit. We could have gone to that planet, right? And we would have seen Melmac. We would have seen that strange planet full of colorful volcanoes and geysers and just the look and the feel of it. Oh yeah, this is where E.T. would know the names of all the people on the ride. Just colors and spinning lights and all this weird shit. That's what Melmac would look like, right? Yeah, this stuff. So if you combine the 3D looks of all this funny stuff, and then you combine that with the cartoon, just the look and the feel of the cartoon, the planet Melmac. This is the animated series. I think you would have had a very nice conclusion, even if the family members didn't come back. I remember one of the family members did some sort of reunion. One of the actors. Yeah, and Andrea, I like this. She doesn't have the big, like Amaya has the big, but she has the big hair because she's still young. And she if they had brought her in, like let's say she went to the planet Melmac, I think the fans would have been more forgiving of the abrupt ending, and if it didn't end in a bad ending. So I think that would have been how Alf should have ended. How Alf should have ended. So that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this retro cookie, because I barely did.